And we're up and running for the second time today. Can't be too bad, eh guys? Let me just stick that down. How's everyone doing? I did say to you, I'm going to start uploading more content onto my channel, and I'm a man of my word. So I'm going to be uploading as much content as I can, especially over the next few days. Thank you to all my new subscribers, and thank you for sharing my channel, you guys. Really appreciate it. I'm really grateful. I can't thank you guys enough. Cheers, guys. But yeah, earlier on, I uploaded a video about Wandsworth Prison, and basically the inmate what got chucked in my cell, what was on spice, was coming off of spice, and the withdrawals what he was going through. So yeah, I must finish the end of that off because there's quite a few asking what happened to this guy. Basically, he stayed in my cell for 4 days and 4 nights, and he was in a very, very bad way. He didn't sleep one wink, one wink, not the daytime, not the night time. He actually stayed awake for 4 days and 4 nights. And on the 4th day, he was in the corner of the cell, clucking his head off, ripping his skin to bits, and the healthcare come along and took him to healthcare, took him to hospital. But that wasn't until 4 days after. And I'd been down to the office on numerous occasions and reported it and told the screws that this guy was in a very, very bad way and he wasn't coming out of his cell. Even when, them days in Wandsworth, you was lucky to get out of your cell. So when they used to open us up for breakfast, dinner and tea, you couldn't wait to get out the door. But this guy, he couldn't get out of the corner of the cell, crawled up in a ball in the corner of the cell, and he was in a very, very bad way. But this just goes to show you what help there is out there for people like that, especially with this new drug what's about spice. And as I said, he lived in a bin shed in the bottom of a set of flats. He stunk. He was absolutely filthy. He was on remand, so they even let him come through with his own clothes on. His jeans were filthy. He was a very, very dirty man. And when I say I sat down with him, I sat from one length of the cell to the other cell away from him. And I made him get in the shower too. I know he's withdrawing, but I made him get in the shower, guys. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. Sorry, guys. My phone went away. My phone just rang again. It seems every time I try and do a podcast, my phone rings for some reason. Is that a sign? Going around it? I don't know what it is. Am I going bonkers? But yeah, Wandsworth, man, it was an absolute carsy. And the last video, sorry guys, that's Bruno going mad. He's seen something on telly. But the last, sorry, don't worry, no worries. I've got a lovely, lovely family, and I've got lovely animals. I've got a lovely missus, and I live, it's normal to us. If there weren't no noise, I would be a bit worried and thinking, oh, well, I'm on my own, so. Yeah, guys, so let's get back on the story again. So anyway, I've just done a video just now and uploaded it to my YouTube channel about Hmp Wandsworth, getting back on the story again. And one of my followers commented underneath and said about the last person or the last male that got hung in there. And it proved that, I think he proved to be an innocent man. I'm not 100% sure of his name, but if I go back on the comments, I can check his name. But if you go down the thread, you'll see his name, guys. And he might even be on Google, so you might be able to Google his name. But talking about hanging, in Wandsworth Prison, I'm sure it's on the C ring. I forget the names of the wings or the locations of the wings, what situation they're in. But, the star is still there in the middle. So if you walk on the middle of the star, you're going to get jumped on by screws. And that still happens today. It's very regimental prison. It's the prison is run by the screws, not the inmates. Whereas other prisons like Wormwood Scrubs, the Ville, Brixton, all them local jails, they're run by the inmates, and basically the screws haven't got a lot of say of what goes on the landings, But with Wandsworth, it's always been a very regimental, strict jail, and you're in jail when you're in Wandsworth. Let's put it that way. It's always had that eerie feeling about it, Wandsworth, and it still has today. But yeah, as you go onto, let's say C-ring, as you go onto C-ring, onto the concourse, well, actually, what am I talking about? As you go onto the wing, you can't help but looking up to the ceiling, because just below the ceiling in the wing there's a door, and that door was the trap door where inmates got pushed out of and got chucked to their death by the means of hanging. So that door is actually still in Wandsworth prison today. You obviously can't see what's behind that door because the door's locked and it's way above anyone's reach. As it's only about maybe 5 or 6 foot away from the rafters of the roof. But there's a little trap door up there, and to be honest with you, it's a very, very eerie place, because of a night time, you know, in the early hours in the morning, it's very, very silent, and you hear things walking down the landing, and you hear people's screams and you hear people's moans, and you know that people have died in that cell before, or possibly have died in that cell before. And you're aware of the hanging door outside and how many people got hung in that prison. So, you know, there's a lot of paranormal activity what goes on in Wandsworth, and it hasn't really been spoken about. And I'm actually going to do a subject on Wandsworth prison over the next few videos, what I'm going to do, guys. But yeah, thanks for that comment, mate, because that's what made me put this video out, just to let everyone know that that trapdoor is still inside the wing, still on the wing. It's not being used today, but it's still there. And yes, there is definitely paranormal activity in Wandsworth prison, I can tell you. The screws in Wandsworth prison used to be very, very brutal. Like, I mean, brutal as if you went in there as a leery young kid and you thought you was Jack the Lad, you wouldn't be surprised if one of the local screws took the straps off your shoulder and come in your cell and had a straight fight with you, a straightener, off of the record. And that went on quite a lot. I don't know if it still goes on today, because now everything's filmed and CCTV up on all the wings in the prisons and things like that. But back in the day, yeah, definitely, you know, the screws would definitely come in and have a straightener with you. And if you give one of them a bit of abuse, you know, you could definitely get yourself in trouble there, because you'd come back later on, open your door up, and you might have your back to the door, but you'd get rabbit punched straight in the back of the head from these screws in Wandsworth prison. So Wandsworth prison has always had respect in it amongst the screws and the cons. And there's always been a line, a boundary. You don't step over that line, you know, because if you do, and you think you're the hardest man or the hardest boy in the world, you know, you're going to come a cropper and you're going to get sent down to the seg. And over the years, you've got the seg is on the ones below the wing. So basically, you've got metal staircase what goes down to the segregation unit. And on numerous times, and including myself, like, we've been pushed from the top of the stairs down to the bottom of these metal staircases. So if you get a broken leg or broken arm or broken rib, you know, then, you know, you was just put into a cell and that was it. You was forgotten about. But that did go on in there. But yeah, I'm going to do another video, guys, on the paranormal activity of what I experienced while I was in Wandsworth prison. So, guys, I hope you don't have nightmares and dreams, bad dreams, because of this video. If you do, drop me a PM and we'll have a little chat. But for now, stay safe, take care, peace.